Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tuesday's Market Sit Rep or Situation Report here at TOPGUN Options. I'm Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Wiz. And folks, what an incredible couple of weeks. I had a calendar reminder for the 100-day point of this administration. Why? Because if I didn't hear anything good about psychedelic-assisted therapy, I was going to take a flamethrower to them. And I did. Guess what happened? The VA secretary responded to me on X and then sent me a direct message the next day like, hey, Wiz, let me introduce you to my chief of staff and want to brief you, and we need your help on this issue. Blown away. The next day after that, in a cabinet meeting in front of the president and this country, the VA secretary said, hey, Mr. President, we're looking into psychedelics for veterans. Got to look, make sure it's safe and everything like that. But there are some nonprofits out there doing some good work. Ladies and gentlemen, I was absolutely blown away. Then I flew up to Washington last week for the federal summit on psychedelic medicine at the National Press Club. But guess what I did? The day before, I went to the VA because the secretary invited me. I didn't know if he was going to be there or not. Halfway through our meeting, guess who walks in? The Secretary of Veterans Affairs. So, 4 years ago this month, I was on my back down in Mexico, getting my ass kicked with Marcus Luttrell, Jared Taylor, JJ, and Robert Gallery. 4 years later, I'm walking into the VA. Gave him a brief. He said, Wiz, if somebody's going to do this, it's going to be us. Clearly wasn't the last administration, and it's going to be now. Folks, I've never been more bullish on this. I told him, I said, Mr. Secretary, this is great. These are all words. We need action. How about vouchers immediately? If a veteran comes out of pocket to go to Oregon, Mexico, Colorado, Costa Rica, now New Mexico to heal, you should reimburse them. Wiz, great idea. We're on it type of thing. So I'm absolutely blown away, folks. I am humbled and honored to be doing this work. It's been a grind for 4 years, but we're starting to see some payoff. Along these lines, listen up and sit up straight in your chair. Friday, May 16th at 1 p.m., I'm going to open up the doors for an exclusive investment opportunity with Dr. Deborah Mash at Demorex. And the video's on the page, but part of the requirement for attending this brief, you have got to listen. You can Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, wherever cool kids listen to podcasts, listen to it, or you can watch it on my YouTube channel or the No Fallen Heroes YouTube channel, episode 121 of the Max Afterburner podcast. That's me interviewing Dr. Mash. Why? Because I don't want to do 152 PowerPoint slides on Friday. I want you to come armed with the knowledge of what Dr. Mash is doing with Ibogaine. AUD, ladies and gentlemen, alcohol use disorder. If you're familiar with my story in healing with Ibogaine, I couldn't even look at or smell alcohol up to a year after I sat with the medicine. It made me dry heave. Now, if I choose to, I can have a glass of wine with a steak or my pasta. But the old Wiz, that a glass of wine meant 2 bottles or maybe even 3. Those days were destroyed with this medicine. So Dr. Mash is opening up the doors for angel investors this round on Friday at 1 p.m. She's going to come and give her brief. But one more time, I'm going to tell you, absolutely listen to Max Afterburner podcast, episode 121, before you come to the investor brief on Friday. I'll post this link underneath the YouTube video where you're watching this, or in the email that I'll send out to my investors. Hell, I'll post this on social media as well. You want to come hear what Dr. Deborah Mash has to say about Ibogaine. Obviously, she's focused on her drug for her medicine for AUD, alcohol use disorder, but she can speak to everything else with Ibogaine. She's been doing this since 1993. Again, don't miss out on this, folks. A lot of you are kicking yourself that you didn't invest in the REIT, Healing Realty Trust. I think based on the last math when I talked to the fellas, I think you've earned maybe 3 to 4 times your investment already. If you invested 25 grand with the REIT a year or 2 ago, you're doing pretty damn good. And we're scheduled to go public here in a couple years. My opinion, let me give it to you. Pfizer, Eli Lilly, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson is not going to let some little Demorex cure alcohol use disorder. They're going to swoop in with their size 12 checkbook, stroke a check, and take it. Hopefully, send it out to market, or they might put it on the shelf. I actually don't want that to happen, to be honest with you. But I'm speaking as an investor here. I'm not speaking as Wiz. So I'm on the advisory board now of Demorex, and I'll introduce her on Friday, but I'm going to let her cook. You need to listen to Dr. Deborah Mash. This is potentially not potent. I'll use the word potentially since I'm talking about investing. It's not potentially life-saving and changing for me. It destroyed alcohol in my life and saved and changed it. And we've helped at the No Fallen Heroes Foundation approximately 70-ish, 75 folks heal so far with the medicines, and they are different human beings. Okay, so incredible past couple of weeks in the healing space, going from criticizing the VA secretary on X to him answering me, to him sending me a direct message, to me flying up and meeting with him, and then the psychedelic summit at the National Press Club. Boom. Hey, man, rip your face off rally. This is absolutely incredible. The president, right now, the market, where is it? The market, the NASDAQ is officially in a new bull market. Let me just throw the cues up here real quick. What do you mean, Wiz? Whenever something goes down 20%, it's in what? A bear market. The NASDAQ entered bear market territory today. Panic. Well, guess what happened yesterday afternoon? The NASDAQ entered a new bull market. It is up 20% off those April lows, ladies and gentlemen. A rip your face off rally. And I love people who just can't, Trump could cure cancer and these people would froth at the mouth that he's putting oncologists out of work. They're just awful human beings. Trump might claim victory with China on tariffs, but it's capitulation day. These idiots clearly have never read The Art of the Deal. You go nuts to open negotiations, go crazy, sound like you're a lunatic with what you're hitting them with. Hit them with a broadside, hit them in the head with a shovel. And then when you come slightly in from that, the other side's like, okay, wow, that was close. And they're all the way over here. This ain't hard, folks. Go meditate, go microdose. Some of you people are nuts. Speaking of microdosing, getmaverickmind.com. Go start microdosing people who are nuts. Take 1 or 2 morning briefs before you meditate and go for your walk or do yoga. And then you take a night duty about an hour before bed, because these people are awful. They can't simply stand anything that's good. This week, the president got the last American hostage released from that scumbag group, Hamas. India, Pakistan. Did you not pay attention to last week? 2 nuclear-armed powers were at war. Like literally war, air-to-air engagements. Did you miss that? Trump stepped in. They announced a peace deal. So freed American, peace deal here. Zelensky and Putin, as of yesterday, they are supposed to meet in Turkey on Thursday. Now, Putin said, I might have a scheduling conflict. Now that Trump's in Saudi Arabia, I'm sure there's phone calls going on around. Could you even imagine under Joe Biden? For 3 years of Joe Biden, it was absolute. I haven't talked to Vladimir Putin in 8 years. Oh my God, man. Hundreds and thousands, if not millions of people dead in Eastern Europe. Donald Trump, I'm going to meet you guys in Turkey. Let's get in a room. Let's figure this out. So if you hate all of that, you got problems. If you hate all of that and you can't stand any sort of winning, man, maybe come to the investor brief because you need to sit with Ibogaine. You got serious problems. And I'm not joking when I say this. I've said this for years. If I could get Vladimir Putin and Zelensky in Mexico for an Ibogaine retreat, the war would be over. That's not me being cute or funny. It's the truth. And if you haven't sat with Ibogaine, you have no idea what you're talking about. I do. One of the reasons I think this medicine remains illegal at a federal level is it can turn warriors into peacemakers. Last thing, speaking of Ibogaine, did you see what happened in the Texas Senate yesterday? It goes to the governor's desk for signature. $50 million Ibogaine initiative. My medicine brother, Marcus Luttrell, huge lobby for that. Governor Rick Perry, Republican. Ibogaine, Texas, $50 million. Unbelievable. This is where you got to be, folks. What's the next hottest sector to invest in, Wiz? This is the only sector for the future to invest in. This country, this world could use some healing. And Friday at 1 p.m., you're going to have the opportunity to invest with the Queen of Ibogaine for a drug, a medicine that might be able to cure alcohol use disorder. Click the link to register. We are going to record it if you can't make it, but you know what? I don't know about that. I don't know if I'm going to send out a replay or not, because this is going to be a limited demand, and there's a handful of spots. This is a quick hit of the fuel tanker to stay airborne and move on to the next institutional round, which is, $10, $20 million investments or whatever. I'm not going to steal her thunder. Come Friday, 1:00, and you're gonna get an opportunity to invest. All right, I gotta go. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you're hedged. We are. Fights on. Namaste. And Basi Basi. What does Basi mean? Truth. I am the way, the life, and the truth. Fights on. God bless. I'll talk to you later.